plate carriers and concealed carry holsters are not in the same food group.
This is not AMS.
Well, I think
Chuck E. Cheese and McDonald's have different rules for the ball pit.
it's annoying. It makes my blood boil, dude. This is the simplest. My 2.5-year-old son knows the difference between green and tan. I guarantee it. Actually, I know it. So if you as a adult can't, then you shouldn't play a sport where you shoot guns at each other.
One would argue that we're making a point that airsofters need to be smarter than the average bear.
Boy, you'd think so, man. I mean, we shoot guns at each other that can do some serious damage.
It's pushing players in the direction of you have to play together.
Yes.
Because like somebody had complained to me, they're like, there's so many angles. Yes, I understand that. There's a ton of them. But if you play with even one other person so that they can take 50% of those angles out of your necessity to watch them, now you've got a better chance of surviving.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Zulu 24 podcast. As always, I'm joined by Anthony from Antec Chairsoft Studios and Jordan from Zulu Outdoor. What's up, fellas?
It's finally Monday.
Yeah. It's the first Monday in about 8 weeks where we haven't had shit to do.
There's no mud on the floor.
Yeah.
No, there's still mud on the floor.
Yeah, man.
So how was opening weekend?
It was good. Wait, let's back up a little bit. So, yeah, we have nothing to do except we have everything to do. Like, It's all the normal shit to do now. So I'm balls deep in blood diamond shit, like the admin part of running events, which fucking blows. I like writing out an event idea, writing fragos, running the event, playing the event are like enjoyable to me. But doing rosters and putting people in squads is like pulling my fucking eyes out.
What they don't tell you is the real milsim starts before the game.
Oh, it's fucking awful, man. I'm just staring at names and emails and just like putting them in squads and like, there's like a team affiliation and like half the people just don't know what that means. So they put funny things in there. Like, I guess just me, like just funny shit. And then you got like the infinite amount of team names that are just 3-letter acronyms.
Oh, I love that.
OGC, CGO, MEO, like all these crazy, like, okay, I'm going to put RPK and RPD in the same fucking squad just because I think it's funny. It was like was it Angry Beavers? And then the Weasels. I don't know if they know each other. They're in the same squad. So I just like find little things and put people in squads. And I mean, the like our guys, I know who our guys are, so I try to spread load them around just because at least one person in every squad I know has been here, knows the layout, and can navigate. But it's awful. It's like data entry and it's silly. I hate
Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's Excel spreadsheets. It fucking sucks. It fucking
I
blows.
hate spreadsheets.
Oh, dude. Like, if there was a service or a program that you could just integrate right into your ticket sales where it just poops out, even if it's randomly generated, but just uses the team affiliation to group people together, and it just poops out a roster. Oh, God.
You know who might know something about that? Max and Ian.
They were Excel spreadsheeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I figured if anyone would know, it'd be them.
It's just the time. You just got to put in the time. I mean, this morning before I got here, it was like, I got up at 7 again, just like I'm trying to keep this train rolling,
Yeah.
So I got up at 7 again and then played with my son a little bit and then immediately jumped on. So probably about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8 till 11:15 when my alarm went off to basically tell me that I got to come here. And it's just off. I fucking hate it. I'm only 90% done with one team and there's 3.
Well,
and then I have to write.
Is only like 30 players.
Does PAA get the same level of organization?
No, because they're purposely, they're a group of dudes, right? Like they're in the lore.
The local militia.
Just guys hanging with guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
bros being bros.
They're not going to have like a squad breakdown. But I do generate a roster with all the pertinent information. That way, the leader of the PAA, if he so wanted to, could A, send everybody emails about planning, or B, send emails to specific people like, hey, who are you? Like that type of thing. And that's up to them. So the PAA, is just a list of people, basically, with all their pertinent information. But the other two, I do squads, squad leaders, medics, frequencies, things like that.
Now with Blood Diamond, are we carrying the same rule set from last year where it's buddy aid then medic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. First hits buddy aid. It's just tedious, and you see all people's like throwaway emails and stuff. That's just like Airsoft 123 at Yahoo. And you're like, all right, well, you're never going to get any of the emails I send you. That's fine. And
then they're going to show up with the wrong camo.
No, thankfully, I think everybody's on board. I think.
Well, we've gotten a lot of questions about camo.
about
Actually, most of them is gear color. Gear color doesn't matter.
Gear color doesn't matter.
But what if it's multicam? And
I had this conversation with someone in the Discord. I was like, if it's the clothing that you wear, it has to be faction specific. If it's the gear that you use, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So you use a plate carrier, but you wear a shirt.
Right.
Pretty sound logic.
Well, it almost pushes everything towards gear color does matter. Like we might as well just go full retard. I guess you're going to have to bleep that.
I don't know. Man, a lot of people are saying it again.
Yeah, it's back.
It's back.
Baby.
we're so back.
I mean, it's like that's the first 10 minutes, so maybe we bleep that. But like, is it socially acceptable to say it again?
Yeah, I think so. I never stopped, so maybe I'm in the wrong for that. But maybe we just go full in and say yes, your gear needs to be faction specific, just because everybody asks about it. The other thing is, again, a lot. It might just be one group of guys. I'm not sure, but like a lot of. Can I wear an AOR1 top and black pants?
Yeah,
You're like, no, man.
It's totally within the confines of the rules to not wear matching top and bottom, correct?
Yeah.
But it has to be faction specific. So like you could wear AOR1 top and DCU pants.
Yeah.
You could wear tan pants. That's
10 on
fine.
10.
But
that's another thing. Dude, I got questions about this is a for real question. And maybe this person's new and who knows, right? But it's like, can I wear tan camo, or can I just wear solid tan on the tan team?
yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
And it's like, read the sentence you just wrote. Just read it back to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like yes. My answer is like, yes.
So playing devil's advocate, I can understand that it says all tan based camos. Flat tan is not a camo, it's just tan.
Sure.
So
No,
I
I
can
get
understand why they would ask that question, but just think about it a little bit before you type it out and you're like, oh, okay.
Just reread your sentence.
Yeah, just
Did he
reread
just
it.
text you, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
He called me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As a colorblind individual, I'm not like colorblind. Like I don't see things in black and white. My eyes are just retarded. So it gets confusing. I think it's the way my brain processes the color. But as a colorblind individual, if I'm on tan, these are the things I would wear. Either solid tan, like khaki pants or a tan shirt. So anything desert. Usually if the camo has desert in the name, it's tan. And then if I'm on green team, it's going to be green, Ranger green or OD green.
Or woodland.
Or any kind of woodland is pretty much implied it's green. So M81 woodland, which is basically woodland. Oh, like this is tan.
Yeah.
That's green. And then what do I wear for my gears? My gears.
No, really grinds.
For my gear, it's anything I want. So my helmet, if I'm on tan, my helmet still has green scrim because it's a helmet.
Well, so that was my question too. Like, so when you go to...
My boots are black. If I'm on green, I might wear tan boots. They're boots.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like boots is getting really into the weeds. It's
Doesn't matter.
Same way with gloves.
It's the pants and the shirt.
Yeah.
Pants and shirt.
But
Green or tan.
so like if you go to a Line Claws game or an American Milsim game, they require that your headgear matches your team affiliation. So
they're very strict on that.
yeah. So like if you're at an AMS game and you're on the tan team, you have to have a tan based helmet. Now they do allow multicam, but that's why I did have some players ask that question. Does headgear matter?
Their helmets, I don't care.
Yeah, because I remember we tried it and it wasn't a big deal.
No, it wasn't a big deal.
This is not AMS.
Well, I think
Chuck E. Cheese and McDonald's have different rules for the ball pit.
I think in the future going forward, I think Crossroads is going to be the more like camo restrictive game.
I liked what we did with Crossroads last year.
Yeah, just
multicam versus everything.
just for the government side. Like government side, you in the lore, you're working for the government. The government issues that, and that's what you use. You know what I mean? So on the government side, yeah, your headgear, whether it be a hat, a boonie, or whatever, it all has to be standard multicam.
Yeah, but that falls within the confines of like.
But for Blood Diamond, I don't care.
Yeah, because Blood Diamond is just two warring factions with civilians in the middle.
I mean, they're PMC groups.
Yeah.
PMC groups. So,
but for Crossroads, where the lore is government forces against the world, essentially, you have to deal with the fact that the government forces would be wearing full
Your phone's
multicam.
off.
Yes, I know.
Is he going down the line?
Yes, call me again.
Nice.
Yes.
Jordan's having a family emergency right now.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not. But yeah, so yeah, headgear I don't care about. I just don't like the tedium of putting names in squads and
Oh, you know what I don't wear at Zulu for green versus tan games? Multicam.
Yeah.
I have multicam pouches on my gear, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because gear doesn't matter.
Yeah, like the one kid I was talking
we still
to.
beating this horse?
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought, yeah.
I feel like it has to be beaten.
no,
Yeah.
it doesn't. For 99%, it doesn't.
No, like the one kid I was talking to in the Discord, he was asking about wearing full woodland on green team, but with a multicam plate carrier. That's perfectly fine. You can totally do that. Yeah. In the same way you can be on tan team wearing full DCU or full AOR1, wearing a Ranger green or a woodland plate carrier. That's socially acceptable. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. I don't care, man. I've never had a problem IDing.
Gillies.
So Gillies need to be faction specific, man.
If you're on tan team, it needs to be a tan based ghillie.
Yeah,
If you're on
and
green team, it needs to be a green based ghillie.
And I totally understand that defeats the purpose, right? Like if you're on the tan team and you have a tan ghillie, it's all green out there, then maybe you don't fucking wear it. You know what I mean?
And if your ghillie is made out of multicam, it's not going to work.
Right? And this is going to be the art. This is going to be what happens. They're like they'll show up with a tan ghillie, and then they'll immediately go out and put like grass and shit in it. And so then it becomes.
I understand that though. Like
I get it.
You're only allowed to use the tan grass.
No, it's not that. This is the imperfectness of
airsoft
in any team-based sport where there's no net. If there's no divider, if there's no net, no wall in between the two teams, you have to have distinctly different uniforms.
Yeah,
just the way it is, man.
Like
and
you can get away with shit like that at Milsom West because it's not green versus tan.
Yeah.
It's NATO versus Russians. So you can be on NATO wearing a leaf top. You can be on Rustfor wearing a leaf top. Doesn't fucking matter the color as long as it falls within the confines of like that unit's camo specific shit.
Yeah, but there's also hyper amounts of control on movement.
Right.
But
and it's also restricted to like AKs versus M4s essentially.
But
Sure.
I consider a ghillie suit to be a piece of gear. Well, that piece of gear covers your
clothes.
uniform, so nobody's going to be able to see your faction color.
Yeah.
This is all beating a dead horse. I don't care.
I will beat this dead horse to a bloody pulp.
It's annoying. It makes my blood boil, dude. This is the simple. My 2.5-year-old son knows the difference between green and tan. I guarantee it. Actually, I know it. So if you as a fucking adult can't, then you shouldn't play a sport where you shoot guns at each other.
Like I know the difference between green and tan, but my question is like multicam. Multicam is like what if it's
you can't wear multicam.
If it's like multicam tropic and it's like mainly green.
There you go.
Yeah, you can wear multicam tropic on green team. You can wear multicam arid on tan team. You know what you can't wear? Multicam alpine, multicam black, or normal multicam, or scorpion, or OCP, or Australian multicam. Because guess what? It's multicam.
Yeah.
Or British MTP, which is also multicam.
And also the other multicams you listed there aren't green or tan.
Correct.
Multicam alpine is.
It's got the word multi in it. If the camo has the word multi in it, you probably shouldn't be fucking wearing it, right?
Yeah. Like
the
only
whole
reason.
point. The whole point was to separate teams. If a perfect world, I'd be like M81 versus DCU.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh,
That's it.
here's a confusing one: Desert Night Parka,
It's green.
but it says desert. Does
know.
not mean it's sand or tan. Desert Night Parka is green.
I
Depending
know
on
it's
what
tough.
year it was made on the inside, it's DCU.
It's tough. I know it's tough. It's tough out there to look at it with your eyeballs and determine whether something's green or tan. I know it's tough, but I believe in us.
I'm wearing woodland top and bottom BDUs, but I'm hot. I'm going to take my BDU top off. underneath.
I hate
is a
that. I
black
want to
t-shirt.
punch you right in the throat. I know what you're doing.
He's playing devil's advocate.
No, I know, but the infuriation.
No, I'm organically.
No, you're not.
Producing the answers to the inevitable questions.
No, they're not inevitable.
This
I've
is
already
the
got
only
them.
thing Dave hates more.
I
than
want
talking
to
about
rip
analog.
your fucking throat out.
So what Dave's trying to say is that your undershirt also has to be green.
No. Here's what I'm fucking saying. Don't buy a piece of gear that doesn't fucking work. If you can't wear a BDU top all day, either A, you're f***ing at a shape, or that BDU top doesn't fucking work. So don't fucking wear it. You know what I mean? Like this drives me fucking insane. But it got hot. Well then fuck, it's a piece of shit. That's a piece of shit top.
But
you know what I mean? Like I can wear a fucking BDU top. I can wear a combat shirt all fucking day. You know why? Because I fucking buy the right shit. Dude, fucking.
But the way my bank account is set up,
your throat, it will be mine.
I have car payments.
I will wear it around my fucking neck.
I just got a new phone.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Then you can't afford to come to this game. I'll refund you your ticket. Like, it's that simple. Green or tan? Jesus fucking
go.
Christ.
That's what I wanted to do.
That was
It hasn't even been that bad this year, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's not that
You're
bad.
just being an ass, and I want to fucking murder you.
That was
God.
the best product
This-
plug for the Velocity Systems rugby shirt.
This is the residuals of me being jaded from reffing.
No,
is-
it's not. Shut up.
This is the residual jadedness from reffing.
No, you're just, you know my buttons, and you push them.
This is the only thing Dave hates more than talking about analog.
I can't stand it. It's so stupid. It's like, if you're over the age of 12, you should know your colors. You know what I mean?
All these buttons,
And-
yet you push mine.
And like, if you have to ask the question, then you already know the answer. Then it's too confusing for you, and you shouldn't fucking wear it. You know what I mean? Like that's the truth about it. If you have to ask the question, don't fucking wear it. If it's not clearly tan or clearly fucking green, like
This segues so well into the topic I wanted to bring up, but we're not there yet. So
it drives me fucking nuts.
Dave's not going to make it.
It drives me nuts. No, because airsoft could be the coolest fucking thing on the planet. It really could be, except for fucking idiots who can't tell the difference between green or tan. And look, I get it. Some people are fucking colorblind, which is why I always say, ask a friend.
Yep.
Ask a friend. If they can't tell, then don't wear it. But if you have to ask the question to even begin with, it's probably a fucking no.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I just,
I routinely come in here and I'm like, Jordan. He's like, yeah. I'm like, what color is this?
he does do that.
I do that to my 8-year-old.
And then every now and then,
I'm like, kiddo, come here. Like, please, is this red? Please tell me this is red. He'll be like, no, it's like, it's
every now and
orange.
then, like I remember one day we were talking about the Connex boxes because we had a couple in the parking lot. And I was like, yeah, that one's gray. And Anthony just looks, he's like, is that gray? I was like, yes, that's gray. He goes, are you sure? I'm like, Ant, that's gray. And he looks over, I think it was Dan next to me. He goes, is he fucking with me? Is that gray? Dan's like,
Are you
"No."
gaslighting me?
Yeah, like, are you gaslighting me over colors? Like, come on. Like, I'm colorblind, dude. I'm like, Anthony, it's gray.
I legally cannot fly a plane.
dude, my cousin's also colorblind, and he told me a funny story. He wore a shirt. I think it was high school or college. It might have been high school. He wore the shirt all day, and everybody was just like, "Yo, man, why are you wearing that shirt?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm just wearing a shirt, whatever." But like nobody would kept hinting at what the fuck was going on.
Was it like neon pink?
It turns out at the end of the day, he was wearing like the brightest pink shirt ever, and he thought it was blue.
Oh,
Like he legitimately thought it was blue.
When I was in middle school,
oh God.
I was a skateboarder, right? So I was like, hell yeah. So I was like, I'm going to get some skateboard clothes from the skateboard website, CCS, right? And I found these pants and I was like, these are dope pants. I got them. I thought that they were the same color as jeans. They were fucking like purple, like borderline, like,
The purple.
I swing for the other team purple.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing them. My mom's like,
You sure about that?
you sure about that? She's like, my metrosexual son wearing purple skinny jeans.
Mom, it's 2003.
And back then we would like sag our skinny jeans because that was the fad at the time for the kids. In my school, it was.
Oh, it was in my school too. I just never understood it.
Yeah.
I'm such a boomer.
I came a long way.
My school, it was Jinko jeans, the big wide fucking,
Yep.
like skin tight shirt, but baggy pants. That was like, you were a cool kid.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It was the
brother.
90s.
Late 90s, yeah. It was late 90s.
Hammer time.
Yeah, buddy. It's good shit, man. But yeah, but okay. Tedium of Blood Diamond. That's so you just got to write some fragos. And
my segue there with Dave's rage-inducing moment there was one would argue that we're making a point that airsofters need to be smarter than the average bear.
Boy, you'd think so, man. I mean, we shoot guns at each other that can do some serious damage. I mean, you should just kind of, I don't know, be a little bit more smarter. I don't know.
Spatially aware.
I don't know. It's just something that's so easy and trivial for me that it gets frustrating when it's hard for somebody else to determine if something is green or tan. You know what I mean? Like is the light switch on or off?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what if it's what if it's in between? Why would it ever be in between? It's that binary to me.
What if the light bulb goes out?
We'll circle back to the smarter than the average bear thing, because that plays into a question I have about the rules once we get into what happened over the weekend with the reopening of the field.
It was nothing bad, by the way.
No, it was nothing
click
bad.
off the video now and be like,
it was nothing bad. I have rule questions.
I had a Blood Diamond question in lieu of the field layout.
Let's go.
Is PAA still going to occupy CQB? Is that going to be like their main turf?
No, they haven't occupied CQB in 2 years.
No? Okay, so last year they were down there, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to continue to be?
Yeah, because because Zulu's basically a big rectangle, and they need to be equidistant from both teams. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't want to take away the ability to fight in New CQB by putting them there.
Yeah.
That would be lame.
Right.
That would be so fucking lame. It's
right.
just like, hey guys, we built this brand new fucking thing. Also, like one team's respawn is there, so can't use it.
Yeah, that's another thing, a respawn. Respawn's tough to do there. I did it one year, and it was real weird.
Yeah.
I had to, it was like I set up a tent. It didn't work. So at least here there's a field boundary, and their respawn will be easy.
Yeah, you're basically pinning them into the corner.
Yes, but they're nobody's enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll work out. Plus, I have some cool Frago ideas I want to do in the new CQB. So
wow.
But speaking of new CQB, we finally got through the first weekend of being open.
I'm happy. I'm happy that it rained. I'm happy that the weather looked like it was going to be.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Because that kept numbers down. And so even on a weekend where it was, I mean, it rained pretty good and thunderstorms and everything.
So Saturday it rained for like 30 minutes.
Sure. But it was like
downpour.
It was like a hell of a downpour. And we still had 120, 125 people. So if it was beautiful weather, we'd had 300.
Yeah, my original prediction was that 300 to 400 range.
And I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we had that small, it's not small, but a smaller group to be able to test and see how the new layout was going to go and everything. And same thing on Sunday. We had, again, Sunday basically rained from noon
till close.
It's
still raining now.
Yeah. And I think we had 85 players.
It felt like more.
It did. But when I looked at it, it was like 85. And so we were able to continue kind of feeling out the new layout.
Yeah, because I have some ideas, and I was talking to some players. I was like, we're going to sit down at some point and probably do like a brainstorm session of like, how do we run our normal games? Because right now there's not flags.
Yeah.
And at some point we're going to end up having to do that. But like, how do we run base assault now? Or how do we do flag to ref now? Like there's so many things where we need to sit there and go, okay, looking at the layout, like how should we run these games? Even with, so like the Shamwow CQB game, we had ran it horizontally. So one team spawned at the helicopter, one team spawned at the mosque. Then with the capture the flag game, one team would spawn at fuel depot and the other team would spawn behind the fortress.
Yeah.
I almost think that for both of those games, we should try them at least once where we catty corner it a little bit more. So have the one team, instead of spawning at the fortress, they spawn at the new Connex boxes where the trucks were.
Yeah.
And have the other team, instead of spawning at fuel depot, have them spawn by where the white tarp building used to be.
Yeah, I think we should keep them both on the same corner.
Oh.
Like move these guys down here and move them down there, because there's one obviously glaring
uphill versus downhill.
Sure, right? And then also the apartments are OP.
Yeah.
I mean, the overpass is pretty good too, but the apartments are like super OP. And so putting one team closer to them is absolutely an advantage. So if we keep everything down on the same side, then they both kind of have equidistant.
So we could try a reality where one team would spawn at the Connex boxes here, where the trucks were.
Yeah.
And have the other team spawn near the trenches on the Embassy Hill.
Yeah. I mean,
could work.
that could work. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that does keep them on the same side, and it makes it so that no team is closer to the apartments.
Yeah, because obviously the further uphill you go, the more advantage you're going to have.
That could lead to an issue where, like, gunfights in this tree line almost get to the point of looking at the other team's respawn.
Sure. Could happen.
So that's something we would just have to figure out.
Yeah.
Because also, same way, if we spawned them at, say, top of the trail and behind Fuel Depot, both teams now have to run downhill, and they're both also in clear line of sight of the apartments.
Yeah. I don't know. We just have to try it.
Yeah.
Base assault's probably done in CQB. We probably can't do it. But Sunday, Ryan and I came up with a game. We just called it like Intel Grab or whatever.
Okay.
So we took the boxes, the red and the blue boxes, and I don't remember where everybody spawned, so I'm just going to say that blue spawned on the far side, and we brought their respawn in a little bit.
Okay.
And then we put their box in the last truck on the north side.
Oh.
And then so the red team, Connex Castle, or Fortress, or whatever we're going to call it.
Sandcastle.
Sure, Sandcastle. They spawned behind that, and their box was in the last vehicle towards the blue side.
That's essentially base assault.
It's essentially base assault.
Yeah.
It's just slightly different. And I didn't watch that game. I was down here trying to figure out how to get the water out of my boss unit. And but at the end of the game, I asked Ronnie and Josh, I was like, who won? And he said nothing. It was a stalemate. And I was like, that's perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah, because
Stalemate's perfect.
yeah, well that shows that. But how many players were playing that game? Because I know the rain deterred a lot. Of
Yeah,
people.
for sure. There was still a good amount. 50.
Okay. Yeah, because I was having
not
a
10,
conversation with someone. I was like, we have to figure out how these games are going to run and how we can play them out because, like, sure, every small game can run pretty well when you only have 25 to 50 players.
Yeah.
How's that going to work when we have 100?
You know what's crazy is that 100 people in old CQB
It was too much.
would have been just it would have been a fights and flip out video.
Yeah.
But the first game of CQB on Saturday,
Where there was over
where
100 players.
everybody played it,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like 100 players at all.
No, it didn't. It is wider and it is longer and it's more vertical, so it's more spread out.
Yeah.
And trust me, they were piling up at some points because I have a photo. I walked up to the overpass during that game to take photos, and I was like, "There's 3 saw gunners and 5 other players watching, like just in that 40-foot Connex box on the overpass." So yes, you can still get congested and but it's always going to be overpower positions.
Yeah, for sure.
But it didn't feel like there was 100+ players running around.
No, not at all.
It plays very differently when there's very few people. The
Yeah.
last game of the day was like kind of eerie because you're walking around and it's not like when I played the game with everybody playing and I was in that overpass with my LMG, I just felt like a German on D-Day, So it actually wasn't very fun for me. I couldn't really do much because I had a 50-foot med. And if I try to go building to building, there would just be too many opportunities where I would just get killed because I simply can't shoot at people.
Yeah, were you playing by yourself?
Everybody was just kind of running around.
So
Yeah.
There wasn't, I didn't really find any battle buddies, right? But and if I did, it's like the best way I could have supported them was by getting in the overpass and
yeah.
holding down the main line. And when you're in that overpass, you can see everybody, and for that particular run of the game, we said, all right, no tree line, no hill, just to see how it plays. And that made the overpass even more OP because my back was good and there was nothing, there's no threat to my position at all, really. And then at the end of the day, when it was very few people, I'm going building to building and I don't know what's going to be in there. And normally when you clear a room, you're hyper focused on what is going to be in the room that you're clearing. Cause like your body's going in there and you pie it, try to see what you can. And then you go in there so you can see everything else with your gun up.
Yep.
Instead, what I was doing is like, as I'm entering the room, I'm like looking behind me because of all the angles I can get shot at from. And I got schwacked like every time I entered a room. Cause like I would enter the room and I'm not even looking forward. And, you know, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah. Well, that makes the argument that it's pushing players in the direction of you have to play together.
Yes.
Because like somebody had complained to me, they're like, there's so many angles. Yes, I understand that. There's a ton of them. But if you play with even one other person so that they can take 50% of those angles out of your necessity to watch them, now you've got a better chance of surviving.
Yeah. Yeah. And even playing with Eric, like me and Eric have played together so much that like when we do play, we don't have to exchange too many words.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just kind of pans out. This time, that last game of the day, still very few people, but like the way the noise, the acoustics of the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
When one person's even just outside, but on a second floor, and you're outside and on the first floor, like you can't really hear what they're saying. I thought he was telling me I need another person up here. So I start going up the stairs. He's running down holding a box. And I'm just like, oh, and now we're like congested on the stairs. So we have to communicate differently and find some way around that. Especially when you start getting shot at in the building, you can't hear, like you're shouting. BBs hitting the walls are loud and it's immersive as fuck.
I showed Dave a clip from my helmet camera. I was like, it's actually coincidentally in the H building on the overpass. I go up and as I'm walking across, I immediately just start running backwards because I have no idea where the BBs are coming from. It just sounds like absolute bedlam. And I couldn't tell if I was getting shot at from the apartments or the fortress. Like you have no idea. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't do, because there was supposed to be another overpass.
Yeah.
It was supposed to mirror it. So like opposite of overpass, you got those two stories. That was supposed to be another 40 going across. It's just the math with the leveling. It would have been dumb.
Yeah, that hillside Connex box would have had to been 4.8 feet into the ground.
Yeah.
Which then would have made it so the overpass was only about 3.5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
And it's like the intent of this was to have enough room to drive a car under
like
it.
if Dave was walking under it, he'd hit his head. Like
you would have to
You
crawl.
were walking under it.
Yeah, you would have
3
to
feet.
Oh,
It went 3 feet high.
Yeah, so it would have been pointless.
So, but in a magic world, in a perfectly flat terrain, we would have had, it would have been balanced because both teams would have had an overpass. Now there's still an option, and I was thinking about this. I've gotten a flood of ideas after this weekend, but there's still an option to build like a wooden rampart between those, because then you can, you don't have to be so perfectly and precisely level, because like you said, a Connex box is a rectangular prism and it's not going to be anything else. With wood, you can do a little bit differently. I'm trying to get away from using wood because the whole point,
Of doing the Connex.
was to, but it might be a necessity to give that side another elevated position.
well, what's one rampart maintaining that as opposed to every single building being made out of wood?
Oh yeah, and because it's so small, the overhead cost is not going to be. I don't even have to do wood really. I mean, like we could do steel, like steel girders, and then do wood on top of that, and it could all be pressure treated and everything.
Yeah.
So we could make it a rival position to that overpass. The overpass is pretty strong.
And to
It's a strong
be
building.
completely fair, if that were to be the case, then we could bring base assault back because you could put a flag in each of those.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's just when it's a side A and side B game in CQB, and you know where people are coming from, it's too predictable. I wish I could have played the full field.
Oh, that's nuts.
For full field, because if CQB is just a point that you're going to maybe pass through or you're going to conquer it as your next objective before you move on to the other stuff, that's different. Like you're not just starting there. You have to approach it. You have to see what's going on before you and your guys start just running in there. And then it's not like, oh, the other team's just spawning on the other side. Everybody's there.
Yeah.
It's like there might be some people already occupying buildings. There might be some people coming up the tree line that we can't really see because there's some good hidden spots coming up on CQB from like the Newtown area. And like
There could be a mix. There could be a mix of friendly and,
I imagine that would be more building to building.
Yeah.
More like traditional tactics.
I think Blood Diamond will be the test of that.
Yeah. I wish I could have played the full field.
Full field was okay.
I walked up at the end, got poured on, and then it was the end of the game. And then I walked off. I got wet for free.
Yeah. So
not for free. I paid to play, but I got wet.
The other team. So Blue immediately like swept down the hill, went down to the lower field, immediately went into the new CQB, started clearing that out. And Red pushed up the moss. They pushed up really far. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Again, I was just watching. I was like, this is going to be great. Red's going to basically take over Mosque and then push down the hill like we used to do all the time.
Yeah.
Get online and come down the hill. And then there's going to be this crazy fight. And it just never happened. And I think it started to rain. And I think there were more players on the red team that didn't want to play in the rain than the blue. And so it really got to a point where there was like 20 red versus 70 blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I actually ended up, I found a big group of red, probably 20 guys, right? And I was like, hey, do you guys want to do something cool? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, put your dead rags on and follow me. I'm going to yell at you. That's just for show. Like it's not real. I'm going to yell at you though. Okay. So it looks like you're getting in trouble. And I'm going to walk, because I knew I was going to have to walk them past like all of the blue team that was in.
You had to walk them past me, and I was super confused.
Yeah. So as we're walking, they've all got their dead rags on.
Every single time.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, there's always one group that wants to show their asses, and I'm walking by and I'm looking at blue kind of out of the corner of my eye, just like, oh shit, how are they reacting? Like, and nobody picked up on it. It was great. And so I walked them all the way back to Fortress. I got them behind the Fortress. And of course there's always fucking stragglers. I'm like, come on, fucking hurry up. And, they get behind Fortress, and I was like, take your dead rags off. You guys are alive. Go, 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 go. and so I hot dropped basically like 20 dudes just to get something happening, and then over the radio,
They're PJs.
Yeah. Over the radio, Michael's like, Dave, I don't know what's going on, but that was like their whole team. And then I was like, all right, that's what's going on. There was just a lot more red players didn't want to play in the rain than blue players.
So I'm on the hill right by Fuel Depot watching these players walk with Dave, and I see Ref Alex, and I see these two dudes that I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but they're like the nicest people. And they're here all the time, and we always like have a good chat when they're here. And I look at them, I was like, where are you guys going? What are you doing? And I'm like, kind of like fucking with them.
Dave's just screaming at him.
And I'm like, you walking off the field? Well, you can't play in the fucking rain. And I'm like busting their balls. And they're like, no, Dave he walked over and was like, oh, there's always one group that doesn't want to play by the rules. You want to show your asses? Come with me. Like, we're getting kicked off the field. And I'm like, what did you guys do? And then I see Alex walking, and I'm like, and he's a ref. What did he fucking do? So I'm like starting to follow behind him, and I'm looking, I go, oh, no. So I immediately look at Andy. I'm like, we need to go get to a second floor right the fuck now. And Andy and I run up to the second floor right as Dave says, respawn. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, I knew it.
Yeah. I was just trying to make something. I haven't done that in years and years and years and years, but I was like, I need something to fucking have. It was
super fun.
It's selfish for me because I just want to see how it plays. I
think it was a good experience for everybody involved.
Oh yeah.
That was a good use.
Sure.
That was a good use of that executive power.
But there was like 60 seconds where I was like concerned for them, and then even more concerned that Alex was in trouble. I was like, he's so sweet. What did he do? What was wrong? It's like, fuck, it's Dave. It's Dave doing Dave. Okay, I'm down.
There was even a couple guys that you guys killed right off the rip, and I just like pulled them into cover, and I was like, you're back alive. I was like, through the magic of Milsim, you're back alive.
You're just like the power of Milsim.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads into, because I had Andy with me, and him and I had a discussion yesterday afternoon once we were done playing about a clarification of the LMG rules. So we had discussed that it's no longer a 3 to 5 round burst down the 3 main lanes.
But it's still
3 to 5 round burst.
3 to 5 round burst
in CQB.
Correct.
Now the specific,
like you and your target are in CQB.
That's what I was going to get at, because I said to him, I was like, it boils down to, as an LMG gunner, you need to be smarter than the average bear.
For sure.
But I said to him, I'll get some clarification on this. If he's in CQB, engaging someone who's not in CQB
Yeah, if they're clearly not in CQ.
Right. I said to him, not within city limits.
You're gonna have to update that safety brief.
Right.
No.
It's
Oh yeah.
so like, for example, yesterday we were on opposing teams from him. Yeah. I was on the gas station second floor, and he was on the mosque hill, and he was just laying out fire.
Yeah, he can do it.
And he came up to me after the game and was like, "I don't know if that was okay. Can you get some clarification?" I was like,
Yeah,
"I
no,
will
he's
find
fine.
out."
Yeah,
So if you and your target are both within CQB, 3 to 5 round
3 to 5
bursts
round bursts with an audible pause.
with an audible pause. But if you're in CQB and your target's outside of CQB,
Let it
or
rip.
you are outside of CQB and your target's inside of CQB,
Let it rip.
that's okay. That's what I wanted to get
Let it
at.
rip.
Because I said to him, we're pushing players in the direction of they do need to be smarter. They do need to understand what's going on. But that is something that needs to be clarified, because we're changing things a little here and there, especially with like the DMR rule and LMGs now, where it's going to get a little more complicated with CQB.
Yeah. It all boils down to the same thing too. Don't be a dick. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried really hard.
To be a dick.
No, to not be a
He's
dick.
always a dick.
With my bursts, I was like, all right, 3 to 5, and my pause is going to be,
A millisecond.
it's going to be longer in duration than the burst itself. So I was like,
Oh, you're
Doesn't-
nicer than me.
It really doesn't have to be that. It's almost like talking guns. You know what I mean? Ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. You know, that's fine. What if you want to be an ass, you'll be like the that's the asshole, right? And everybody knows who the asshole is, and they're like, oh, that's an asshole.
but the M240 has to be in the cadence of die, motherfucker, die.
Sure, right? But
That's
as long as
Milsim.
you're, I mean, it's all common.
Milsim.
Just don't be a dick.
Because I was talking with some players about it too, because there's a lot of angles, there's a lot of windows, there's a lot of second floor buildings.
Yeah.
And now, like we had said, you need to be, you really need to play as a group, because if you don't and you just try to solo run it, you're going to die. It's making it so,
Yeah.
you're going to just get schwacked. It pushes you in the direction of you need to be very precise and deliberate with your movements. And they're like, yeah, but if you just put a saw gunner on the second floor, I'm like, okay, so put a saw gunner on the first floor and hammer the fucking windows. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said that, they kind of looked and go, oh, that does make sense. I'm like, it's terrain denial. If you just hammer the windows so they can't peek, just that's what it's going to be.
Also known
what I
as cover
did.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that game mode, the first one, because we switched sides, prior to me being in the overpass, when I was on the other side, I will say there appears to be a advantage for one side over
sure.
the other when there's that many people and it's like that contained.
I think 50% of that was because of the game we were playing.
Yeah.
It was honestly, I didn't care about the game. I just wanted to see
Yeah, it was
how
capture the flag,
how
right?
it worked. Yeah, which we've never played before.
It was jumping on the new couch.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that had something to do with it. But then for sure, the field layout, it's the fucking overpass. The overpass is you can see everything. So while you're down in it, while you're down in the town, your sight lines are blocked. But up there in the overpass, it's like playing an RTS, dude.
When I was on the more difficult side, I did just like find a building and I was just shooting at every 2-story window, regardless if I saw anybody in it. Cause I was just like, I just want them to not even think of using it. I want them to think that like everybody's just shooting at the 2-story. The 2-story is a weakness. So that was my strategy. And I guess how many kills I got? Fucking none. Cause nobody was up there because I was shooting the walls so much that they were like, nope.
Well, I purposely
Saw gunners. Saws are legit.
are legit. Yeah. So I purposely, when we played yesterday, we played Shamwow perpendicular, right? So one team at the helicopter, one team, I don't remember what
Mosque.
Yeah, like L-shaped mosque. So I purposely steered myself towards the disadvantageous side just to kind of get. I was hoping they'd play it this way. I'm not sure why they did it that way, but I'm okay because we need to experiment with everything, right? So I purposely kind of angled myself to come around that way just to try to get. But I don't feel like I got the full experience because they weren't. The other team wasn't particularly aggressive and they didn't really get into good positions. But I did manage. Under fire, I hate saying that. It's fucking airsoft, but under.
So I was in combat.
Yeah, like
While getting
under
shot at.
under BB barrage, I was able to just go building, put their heads back, next building, put their heads back, next building, put their heads back. And I got all the way to Hacienda on the bottom floor. And then from there, I was able to suppress second floor of, I went through so much ammo, second floor of apartments because I could see two guys were up there. And then I had friendlies come around from the right. So I was able to, and then as opposed to going upstairs into the Hacienda, I went all the way down and around, and I actually ended up clearing out the top floor of apartments. I take it back. I got shot. I killed one person up there, and then I got shot. But I was able to make it all the way to that exterior staircase and come up.
Somebody mentioned one of the buildings needs a staircase on both sides.
That's
Yes.
the apartments.
It's the apartments.
Is that going to happen?
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That
So
was the plan in the beginning too.
yeah, so when you look at your bank account and you see more money than you've ever seen in your life.
Get away from my bank account.
Yeah. Well, you have all these like ideas like, oh man, I can do this and that and this and that. And then reality hits you and you're like, oh fuck, that costs a lot of money. Every 2-story eventually will have 2 stair access, right? Whether that be interior or exterior. For the apartments, it's going to be interior.
Does that include the gas stations?
Yes, gas stations too. Yeah, just because it's a choke point, right? And also in the case of the apartments, it is advantageous to whoever's spawning uphill, right? If you play it that way. I mean, aggression and speed will negate all of these things. Like if we got a particularly aggressive team on the weak side,
Yeah.
they're going to win every time.
Yeah, because I played Saturday and Sunday in the afternoon, and I played Shamwow both days. The sad part is I spawned in the same spot both times. So I've only played that Shamwow game spawning at the helicopter, and I noticed both games on each day, the team that was spawning up at the mosque just kept trying to walk down the open hill.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. This will cure the laziness.
Yes.
This will absolutely cure the laziness. Like there's so much tree cover and tree line that could have been utilized to come into.
Yeah. So like I tried at the very beginning of the Shamwow game on Sunday to just go left. Because like Evan and Johnny were playing with us and they're like, oh, come on, let's go right. I'm like, that is exactly what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to go left and see.
Yeah.
I ran into like 1 or 2 guys on the left side tree line and that was it.
Yeah.
So eventually I was like, well, everybody's in the buildings. I'm kind of bored. I'm gonna go hop into the Hacienda and then work my way to the gas stations.
Yeah.
And I noticed the same pattern. Both days, it's just whichever team was spawning at the top of the hill would just try to walk down the hill. Fun fact, from the gas station and the overpass, you can still get shot on the hill. And that's what ended up happening. So it almost felt like we were locking them in their spawn. And talking to some of my friends that were on the other team, they were like, yeah, it was like 5 or 6 of us that would kind of maneuver our way down. And then everybody else was just staying on the top of the hill trying to shoot down because they realized you guys would schwack them as soon as they walked in the open.
Yeah. So then don't walk in the
Yeah,
open.
right,
So
go
find
around.
another way.
Yeah, go
You know what I mean?
go around.
Because I don't have sympathy for that because there's so many options. They could, I mean, the easiest option, they all go to Fuel Depot,
Right.
come up around the back. Now they can take that first 2-story that's right there.
I finally went into that building.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they could have gone into that, and that would have at least given them the foothold.
Yeah.
And then from there, they could have maneuvered. So I don't, if you want to be lazy and sit up at the top and play long ball, that's fine, but you're going to be ineffective. You know what I mean? You're
That building's a perfect spot for like snipers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they all are.
Did you get to use those
The
grenades?
Blankfire grenades?
Yeah.
I finally got to throw one yesterday, and it went off without a problem, worked perfectly.
In the rain, so it probably hit mud and everything. So it's
Yeah.
a good test.
Smiggy and I got into a gunfight, and I was like, this is going to be bad, because gas gun with 30-round mags, and I know he uses EPM1s. I'm like, I'm severely outgunned here. And as I re-peeked to the corner, I see him running down the stairs of the gas station. I just went, I cut the windows on that building. I know there's no door on that side. So I just threw the grenade across the opening. Like I literally, without thinking twice, just pulled the grenade out, hucked it straight at him. And Michael White was standing there. He just goes, hey, bud, that landed at your feet. He goes, shit. I got him, and apparently there was another player on the backside of that building I didn't see either. And I got both of them, but it worked absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's fun with the boss unit. It's loud.
It's loud. It's a lot of fun. Actually, though, with the Blankfire grenades, So we have the no throwing Blankfire grenades up to the mosque roof, and I understand that because it's such a high roof. Is it socially acceptable to throw it from like the stairwell up onto the balcony of the second floor buildings of like the hacienda and stuff?
Yeah. Again, don't be a dick, right?
Okay.
Like if you've got one of those ones, man, what were they? The TRMRs
that are
freaking
like 4
fishing
pounds.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe you don't throw that where you can't see. You know what I mean? Like just don't be a dick, dude. It all boils down. Don't be a fucking dick, you know? Don't throw a heavy fucking weighted piece of steel.
Because that was one of the first things we noticed with those Blankfire Thunderbeats. They're not super heavy. Like they're still heavy.
Yeah.
They're not as heavy as those.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was Hoffman got them too, and he asked me, he was like, "Can we throw these through windows?" And I was like, "I'll ask Dave."
I don't know about being on ground level and throwing it through a window on the second floor.
Yeah,
You're just going to peg somebody in the face.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You get hit in the face with an EG-67, it's made of cardboard. It's not going to do shit. Look, that can of green gas right there, it's very thin aluminum.
Yep.
But if you got hit in the face with it, it's still going to suck. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter about the weight or whatever. Like you get hit in the face with a piece of metal, it's going to suck.
But that's
so
why
I'm going to say no on that.
Yeah, but I was like, also the idea of like, oh, I'm at the base of the stairwell, like throwing it up the stairwell. Is
If
better.
you're, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Again, don't be a dick.
Yeah, smarter than the average bear.
Boy, we try. We try.
We try.
It's like the universe is listening because I just got another email about gear camo.
Really?
Yes.
Dave's blood is boiling.
Dude, I don't know. You know what's worse too is I've had a couple emails that were like, so I read the part where it says gear color doesn't matter, but, and you're like, just reread your first fucking sentence, dude.
I had window shutter ideas that it's either on or it's off.
That's the ideal. Yeah, that's the
so
ideal
talk about
situation.
that.
Yeah.
Want to hear my idea?
Sure.
Because it's a good one. Now it will
How every idea starts.
it will involve some type of like attaching 2x4s to the wall.
Easy.
And magnets. So you have a really large window. You just get a really big piece of wood that is the shape of that window.
Yep.
Right now it will be a little bit bigger on both sides. And the magnets, because you know how the walls are corrugated. So there's like deep parts and then there's parts that are flush. So the magnets will be flush with it. And this board has 2 handles on it. It's big. So you need 2 hands to put it on or take it off. And the windows are fairly large. So that makes sense. And you have a 2x4 above it so that you can't just like slide it up and keep it attached to the magnet. So the 2x4 is there to prevent that.
Yeah.
And then it can basically, you can't shift it like to the right, but you can shift it to the left as far as you need to so that the magnets are now not touching the wall so that it'll fall freely. And then there's a guard on the left that makes it so you can't push it beyond that point. And then there's a bottom board too. Right? So you have this wooden frame and it's like,
I get it.
It's like a shield.
I'm tracking.
So it's going to slide so that it's not touching magnets and then it can just drop freely. And there's no way that you can put it on there so that like they can game the game and try to make themselves like a little crack to stick their barrel
it's easy. I slide it slightly.
Slide it and it drops.
Nope. Yeah, but the corrugations are like 3 inches. So I can slide a ½ inch, put my barrel out. And I think
So
this
then
is...
that you just fix that with the shape of the wood. Like there is no crack until it's not magnetized. You can just make the piece of wood a certain.
And
that's heavily engineered. I can do the same thing with a French cleat.
But it's with 2x4s and fishing magnets. It's just wood. It's not heavily engineered. It's just
it's a complex
Legos.
idea. I do think that's a good idea because you could do it from the inside.
yeah.
I think what I want to do is just put fucking shutters on.
Because we had talked about that.
Why build it to the lowest common denominator? We're building it like this conversation, and we all have the same thing in mind. It's going to be one asshole who cracks it open and just puts his barrel out because he's a bitch and he doesn't want to get shot. That's what we're thinking about when we're talking about shutters, right? That's why you want it to fall free. What if we just fucking build it for adults
And have uniformed refs.
and have nice things? Like, what if we just did
But we
that?
can't have nice things.
You're right. Now, what we could do to minimize the bullshittery is make it so that What are they called again? Shutters. So that the shutters open outward, and on the outward facing shutter, there's a magnet. It doesn't have to be a fishing magnet, but a magnet. So when it is open, it's like locked open, and the player has to like reach out to pull it back in.
Yeah, because we had talked about that where I had the idea of a flag system where you use shutters.
Yeah, exactly.
Where one side of the shutter on the inside is painted red and the other side's painted blue. So you have to open your team's side to control the building, which also means now that when you want to take the building, you have to reach out there and grab that entire shutter, bring it back in,
Let's
and
put a little
open
handle on
doors.
it.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. I am exactly thinking about that one asshole. But you're also correct in the aspect of what if we just build it for adults, act like adults, and have uniformed staff that are
Right.
good at their job. So if they see an asshole doing that, they yell at the asshole.
I think exactly. I think we need,
They have to say this verbatim. This is why we can't have nice things.
like, there definitely needs to be shutters or curtains, something to make it feel claustrophobic. Like, it'll cut down on the angles for one, but it'll also make it feel huge because you won't be able to see through a building, out a building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'll make it feel bigger. We did that in the original CQB a long time ago, and it really did. Like, all of a sudden, the building right in front of you that you used to be able to just look right through and determine that maybe it was clear just based visually. Now you don't know. Now you have to check. So now you're slowing down. Now you don't feel like you like. So when I played, it was like anxiety. If you sat in a spot for more than 30 seconds, you were like, fuck, I need to go. And maybe that was the right decision. Maybe it wasn't. But what it did do is I didn't care what my teammates were doing. I knew that I just needed to fucking move. So in that respect, I think it actually diminished teamwork because everybody's too busy worried about where am I going to get shot from? You know what I mean? So I think if we put up something, curtains, shutters, I think that would slow everybody down a little bit. And then all of a sudden now you can communicate, hey, did you see that curtain move? You know what I mean? Like, I like the idea of curtains because when you shoot at them, it's not just hard cover. Like, sometimes BBs pass through those. And also when you shoot it, the curtain kind of opens up a little bit, right? So,
Well, what if?
I like the look of shutters better. But
Well, I was going to say, what if, because the intent was to make it a city vibe,
yeah,
the 2-story buildings get shutters and all of the 1-story, like, smaller buildings get curtains.
well, does that make the second stories more OP?
No,
I would say opposite. I would say all the lower ones get shutters and all the upper ones get curtains.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was thinking because then you're forced to have to open the shutter and expose yourself as opposed to being able to shoot out of the curtains.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's either that or
And
just
then it's
everything gets shutters.
And then it's a clear distinction of like, oh, that window's open. There can be someone up there.
What if we put shutters and curtains?
My original thought was that all the windows have shutters and all the doors have curtains.
Yeah, we'll never put in doors. People like to kick doors.
And the only way you make doors durable is make them heavier. And then when you kick them, you just get more fucked up if you're on the other side of that door. So it's a bad idea.
Yeah. We'll get beads. You know, like you go to those.
Oh, like the Mardi Gras beads?
Well, like the alternate medicine store when you go through the beads. Like,
But they're all BBs that we picked up and we drilled tiny holes through them
God.
so we could run the string through it.
no, but definitely something definitely needs to happen over the
overpass.
The overpass. Oh, I mean, just windows in general.
I'd love to see more destroyed cars.
I'd love to too. They're actually harder to find. So Jordan has
I have a plug.
he's got a contact. So, but you know, if he has one, it'd be better to have two, right? So I looked, and everything is like an auction. So it's like, yeah, like because the cars that we want aren't the twisted metal, like.
Yeah.
Unrecognizable.
It still has to be safe.
Well, A, it needs to look like a car. B, yeah, you can't have like tetanus injectors everywhere.
And if you did, you know, Dan wouldn't sand all of it completely.
Oh yeah, he missed that fucking door. But they're like auctions. Then there's ones local. There's ones right here in Newburgh. They just like, you know, bid on cars, but now you're bidding with other people, and you know, I'm looking to spend sub $1,000 per car, you know, and most of them are like could be repaired type shit. It's like when the insurance company says that your car's totaled because the airbag went off. It's like that. So the car's not really that damaged.
But then the used car dealership is buying the flooded out car and repairing it to new because it's a salvage title, and they're selling it to you for $10,000 anyway.
Make a car out of wood.
No, I'm not doing that anymore.
Use the scrap steel to make a car.
You know what would be cool? You know that truck down there?
The deuce and a half?
Yeah.
You still have the tractor.
That would never pull that.
Yeah?
No. That deuce and a half is A, one with the ground, B, heavy as fuck.
Where would we put that? We wouldn't be able to get it under the H building.
Also, it does a good job where it is right now.
Yeah, you're right.
It helps.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It helps the games down
Because that's a problem at the moment too. I see how we're going to be able to get the cars in there. It's just going to suck. It's going to be dragging them up onto the field and then pushing it to the underpass and then going around with the tractor.
No,
hooking up from the backside. And
I can pull it with my truck. If it has wheels that are rolling,
oh, that's true.
I can just pull it with my truck.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
The problem is going to be getting them to where we want them. With the tractor, we just push them.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to push a car with my truck.
No.
I'll use Anthony's car.
Yeah.
So if you have a car that you'd like to get rid of, sub $1,000, let us know.
I'll talk to my guy again and see if he's got anything, because he said he doesn't come across cars very often, but when he does, he'll call me.
Yeah, cool. Hey, Anthony, you know what time it is?
It's normie.
What do we got today, Jordan?
So, is it normie if you conceal carry your airsoft pistol during the game so you can practice your concealed carry draws?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No, I know where you're thinking. I just want to know, you wear, your airsoft kit, but then you put your sidecar on and you put your airsoft Glock in it. Is that normie?
Man. I don't know.
I'd say no.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
This is a new one because we all have concealed carries. So it's something that actually, I don't know, man.
I mean, yeah, but what situation? Okay, so I guess there's two mindsets, right? There's the person that's just playing airsoft, concealed carrying, and then there's the person who wants to work on things.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Plate carriers and concealed carry holsters are not in the same food group.
No, one's overt, one's covert.
Yeah. So if I'm wearing a plate carrier, I'm going to wear my Safari Line holster because shockingly, you're going to know I have a gun. If I want to practice concealed carry, sure. No kit. Slick rig, maybe. You see what I'm getting at here?
I've done that, but not to practice my concealed carry draw. I've played with a really tiny chest rig, and I was like, I am not putting a belt on, and I don't want to take. I was just being lazy. I was like, I don't want to take the holster off my belt and then loop it through my belt and then have the thing and the thighs. And I was like, I'm just going to use my sidecar. I'm wearing hiking pants and a t-shirt. I just want to play really quick. And I just want to also have the pistol. It's just sidecar. Easy.
Okay, so.
But doing it to practice your draw.
That might but during an airsoft game, I guess
well, I think one of the themes across all the normie isms is the main character syndrome thing. Mm-hmm. So you're LARP in your own head, which is only happening in your head because only you're participating in this LARP. Is when you're playing the game, you're positioning yourself in places and scenarios so that you have to draw your pistol.
But why aren't you just immediately getting shot? Because they're playing airsoft. You know what I mean? Because when they come around the corner, you're like, oh no. And then you're like, gotcha, but what situation is happening?
That's what I'm getting at.
If you're okay,
I can't see a world where it'd be comfortable to then lean up so I can reach under my AVS and grab my appendix carry Glock.
I would never do that while wearing plates.
Yeah, I don't think
it's just impossible. But if you have a rifle and you just want to carry your pistol, and it's a quick, like, whatever.
Serpa's a quick holster.
Right. But like, it's just another way to carry your pistol, whatever, if it's comfortable for you or not, or if it's the only holster you have, whatever. But like, you have a rifle. But like, I'm imagining if you're going, I'm trying to make it as normie as possible. You're going up on the field, jeans, like you're wearing your everyday clothes.
Yes. No rifle, no plate carrier.
You know, so like,
to do
and
what,
just
though?
and just your pistol in your like concealed carry, and while the game's going on, you leave it holstered.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
until
that's what I'm
you
getting at.
until you come 1-to-1 with somebody.
And then you're drawing and shooting them.
So like, are you
How are you not immediately just getting shot?
That's
like
what I'm wondering.
like are you only? Are you only? Is it only like a lawful use of deadly force in game?
You can't until he shoots at you.
Like,
Like total transparency. Like I'm going to conceal carry during the Gun Gamers LARP event,
That's a LARP event.
but that's a LARP event.
That's different.
just to
I'm not going to
clarify,
an
he's
open
going
play.
to conceal carry his airsoft gun at the LARP event. He's
Yeah.
not going to conceal
Not a
carry
real
a carry gun.
oh, you guys are doing just airsoft?
This will make them call their hits.
Yeah.
No,
But like at no point in time did I go, you know, it'd be really fun if I like conceal carry during an open play. Like you just put an airsoft gun in my waistband or like in an appendix holster or like I carry in a fanny pack. Let me carry a pistol in my fanny pack. For
I could
airsoft.
I could see Hoffman and Sean doing this on purpose simply for the challenge of doing it.
Also to make fun of normies doing it.
Sure, but I don't. If you're going to train, if it's a training aspect, right? You can do that at home.
Like,
Like,
if it's just your
easily.
draw.
Yeah,
If it's
right?
just your draw speed, you can do that dry firing at home.
Sure. If you're doing it in an airsoft game, how are you not just immediately getting shot? Because there's no reason for the opponent to think about anything. They just come around the corner, pull the trigger, boom. It's not like he's like, give me your wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like, I have your family trapped in the basement if you don't give me $1 million. You know what I mean?
911, I'm in the corner. He's in my home. I have no choice but to shoot.
Yeah, right.
I'm afraid for my life.
Like there, I don't. If you're just doing it for the fun of it, rock out, right? Like you're just having fun playing airsoft, and that's fine. If you're doing it for training value, I think you're not getting what you think you're getting out of it. I think you're going to be out of the game instantaneously. You're going to get like this, maybe.
and then get smoked by a rental.
Yeah, right.
Also,
like,
it's okay to be a normie. If you want to do that, and like if we deem it to be normie, it doesn't mean anything. Like you can.
I could
There's
see this
nothing
as,
wrong with being normie.
I could see
You're
this
cool.
more as a meme than being an.
Like, okay,
Well, so there was a time.
we're playing World War III. Okay, we have to capture a base. Everybody has all their kit on. I'm with my friends playing. Homie has an LMG, right? Everybody's got their rifles, boss units, everything, and then there's just me, and I'm running with them. We're sneaking around in the woods. I don't even have my gun out because I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for my quick draw. It has to be under stress because I'm training. I try to mimic the stress. Like, that's pretty.
That's a little normie. Yeah.
If done unironically.
And then do you reholster after?
Oh, yeah.
Say, dude, say by some miracle they don't just come around and shoot you. They go to shoot somebody else. So you're like, ooh, I'm allowed to stop violence against somebody else. So then, boom, you shoot them. Now your gun's out. The game's still going on. Are you reholstering, or are you just playing with a pistol at that point, rendering the concealed part kind of inert? Like,
Well, watch his T-Rex arms once.
yeah, right.
Running
Like,
around.
Sees too many Laiku videos.
We made a video like that years ago.
We did.
Or
I
the
think
caption I put was like, Mom, I want Lucas Bakken. We have Lucas Bakken at home. And it was just me. Jordan was filming me. I was just running around the field like with my airsoft Glock and my rifle. And I'm doing the
Oh, you're
the
using my GHK.
Yeah, I was doing all like the transitions. I'm like looking around before I reholster. I press checked the airsoft gas bullet back. Glock.
Oh man!
Doesn't work.
I mean, what are you doing that before you put it back in your? Like, what's happening here? Like, it's again with most of these normie topics, it's like, what's the mentality? And that's what we're trying to break down here, right? If I don't know if there's a mentality for this besides I want to meme for the laughs, because if I get a kill, it's going to be like, oh, I got a kill. You know what I mean? Other than that, I don't think. There's probably no training value because, again, you're probably dead before you pull it out of your holster in a CQV environment, right?
Well, in a woods environment, you're not even going to see the dude that just smoke checked you.
Yeah, right.
Come on now.
Well, but maybe because of twigs, trees, leaves, whatever. Maybe
He didn't see you as a threat. You were wearing the other team's armband, but you didn't have a gun.
He's like, is that guy a ref?
Like Alex shot me, or Alex got mad. I shot him on Saturday. He's like, I was just a medic. I didn't have a gun. I was like, you were wearing red.
Yeah,
So I don't know what to tell you.
All I'm picturing is like I'm this guy. I'm doing this, right? And I'm in a building. I hear somebody around the corner. So I'm like, all right, it's time to draw. So I draw, right? The moment I get into a firefight, first pull the trigger.
Yeah.
The gun malfunctions.
This is the byproduct of watching too many of those like civilian sim home defense training class videos where it's like they're going through the glass house with the sim guns. This is that.
Yeah, but even that, they don't even draw. They start with the sim gun.
With the gun.
It's the why are you concealing? From what? From who? Right? So what's happening there?
Ronan used to use a concealed carry holster all the time.
Sure.
I think he still does.
You do you, boo. You know what I mean? Like,
Ronan's also way cooler than all of us. So.
JPC with a 4 Glock carry Glock.
You're right. I have to know the mentality. Like, what are you trying to do? If you're just trying to meme, rock out, man. Not normie. If you're doing it because you think you want to train something, or because I don't know why, because I don't even know why you'd fucking do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't.
So think of the training.
It's hilarious. Dude, if I came around the corner with my M4 and I saw somebody like fumbling with their shirt after I shot them, I'd be like, what were you doing? Did you have a spider? He's like, oh, concealed carry. I'd fucking die laughing. That'd be great. I'd be like, oh, dude, that's fantastic.
Why, when, and where would you conceal carry in real life?
Well, not at the airsoft field.
You are in a
Everywhere.
permissive environment that is civil. You are not in a active war zone. Your life is not in danger. You carry for the reasons why people carry. And that thing only ever comes out if it's your last stand against being at the mercy of somebody else. Or even a bear, right? Yeah. It could be a freaking animal, right? So there's that.
Either way, still the worst day of your life.
So
go on.
If you truly want to train for drawing in a situation like that, I don't think it's reflected very well in a non-permissive airsoft environment where everybody is a hostile combatant that you cannot reason with, because in the game of airsoft, right?
Whoa! I have kids.
Yeah. When you're playing airsoft, this is a guy on the other team, unless you're playing some like crazy LARP event, right? The guy on the other team, they're not afraid of death. Okay. They have no remorse for killing you in game, so
it's binary.
There's no reason to conceal from them, because if you're on the other team, they're just going to kill you anyway.
Yeah. You have red armbands. I have blue. Therefore you bad, me good.
Yeah. And also when you're playing airsoft, you can just walk around with your gun out in your hand. Like you can't do that, at the mall with your family.
Well, you could.
Well, anybody can
for a time
do anything, but wills will clash.
And should you do that?
The will of humans will clash.
I want to do this now. I want to do this.
Are we all just going to play?
We're going to try. So like this happens in Tarkov, right? Ever since they added VoIP, Tarkov is much like Airsoft. Every other PMC you see is bad, shoot, right? Default setting is shoot. And every once in a while you got guys like, what's his name? Friendly something. He played the whole game as a pacifist. And so he would use VoIP and be like, no, come on, I'm just trying. And it was amazing. He gets killed 99% of the times, but like there's these small cherried interactions that are fantastic, and people like take pity on him and he's like, oh, okay, like I'll help you out or whatever. Fuck. That would be fun to do one day. We all just we choose peace over violence, and every game we just try. Please, buddy, don't hurt me, don't. And then right when if they're like, yeah, okay, that's when we will work on our fucking draws. I think that'd be fun.
Is that more or less toxic than doing the dead man walk?
Ooh, good point.
Because to me, if you did that during an open play, especially being affiliated with the field,
Sure.
you're a dick.
Yeah.
That's a bad idea. Because I get pissed when someone does the dead man walk.
What's the dead man walk?
I'll paint you a picture. I'm sitting on the top of the on top of the mosque hill, watching 5 players walking off the field, but they don't have their dead rags out. And they get 15 feet from the ramp, and then they immediately all contact left and start running straight up the hill at you because they weren't actually dead. They just looked like they were dead because they were walking with their gun down. That's the dead man walk. So is that better or worse than that?
Yeah,
because to me,
I think you would have to.
Easy. Anytime you're not alive in game, dead rag has to be out.
Sure, for sure.
Walking off the field, dead rag out.
correct.
Yes.
You will get shot by
This is why I shoot players that don't have dead rags.
Yeah, they were purposely doing that. But I mean, I think you would have to kind of go above and beyond and just be like, you'd have to play the character. You'd have to play the guy at the gas station who's just pumping gas and then somebody puts a gun to his head. You know what I mean? You have to be like, no, I have kids. Don't shoot me. You know that type of shit.
Time to do this is during the Gun Gamers Live.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, this is all great for that. But I'm just talking about like random open play.
We've done stuff like that at like night games.
Somebody would interact with that. It would take, you'd get shot the fuck up all day.
Yeah.
But somebody would interact with that. I mean, look, Alex wears a freaking raccoon hat when he plays. You know what I mean? He acts out his deaths every time he gets shot. I watched him fall on the ground like fucking 10 times on
I've
Saturday.
been doing that too.
He would interact with you. You know what I mean? And
I've been acting out deaths too.
And that might give you that split second chance to then pull from your concealed. And I think that if you got somebody like that, I think that they would play it out and it would be cool.
But this is like the same argument that Eric had with why they don't allow rubber knives. Either you're too into it or you're not into it at all.
Yeah, but this, at least there's physical distance.
That's true.
He was talking about like hands-on shit.
No, but I'm saying like in the same regard, like for every one player like Alex.
Sure, but if they're not into it, they're just going to shoot you and you take your hit, pull out your dead rag and go back and try again. You know what I mean? This is kind of a victimless crime here.
I guess you're right.
Yeah. Is it normie? Yes. I mean, that's unequivocal, but
we want to try the norminess.
It's normie for a weird way, though. It's not normie because you're doing something that affects other people. It's just you're doing something that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like
it doesn't make sense to conceal carry an airsoft.
No.
Well, it's normie to think that that's training.
Well, for sure. Yeah, that's not the situation. That's like going into Ukraine right now and just being like, it's okay, I got my dress. You know.
No, that's a very overt environment. Like hey, are you speaking Russian? Is he speaking Russian? Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I thought the question was going a more normie route. When you said concealed carry, I was like, oh my God, are you talking about like I got taken prisoner, backup, concealed carry gun?
So maybe that's the situation people think about when they're like, oh, I'm going to conceal carry this.
Why would you fantasize being taken as prisoner?
Because escaping is cool.
No, yeah,
falling back is cool.
I don't fantasize being taken as prisoner. I fantasize about breaking out with my my boot pistol that's a Springer.
Yeah, right. And if you did that, that's an epic fucking story. You know, like, oh, they didn't search my gooch, but I got my gooch gun. You know what I mean? Like
the little Derringers. Remember those little Derringers?
Right? Yeah, Hoff had one. So when you said Hoff and Sean would do this for the fun, Hoff and I used to do something similar. He had the Derringer.
Yeah.
And I had a little Colt 25 ACP. You know the gun I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was a gas non-blowback, and it had a little fucking suppressor. So we used to play around with whoever could pull that out, screw the suppressor on, and then shoot someone. Like that was the challenge of the day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, oh, you're concealed carrying it. No, it's a little Colt 25. You just put it in your fucking
pocket.
Yeah, you put it in your fucking pocket.
Which is concealed. I think like maybe that's the mentality. Like, oh, this is my, if I get captured, maybe. And there are games where that is socially acceptable to be captured, taken prisoner or whatever. Like, it has happened in the past. It's incredibly rare, and you know, even if you went to a game where that can happen, the chances of you being that person is very fucking slim. But I mean, so maybe that's the mentality. Like, oh, this is my boot gun. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that would be cool as shit, though. I mean, imagine
next weekend we should just play with pistols and conceal carry. And
I haven't touched my pistol in so long. It's actually here though. I brought it. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Do it.
And we'll try to VoIP our way out of everything. Like, no, we're just travelers.
I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with my boss unit.
I'm just a guy looking for my family, and I just want to get out.
But on
I
the
have a certain set of particular skills.
Yeah.
on the conversation of taking prisoners, I do have a funny one. I have photos of this too. I want to say this happened around October. We don't normally play games where it's like socially acceptable to take prisoners.
We don't normally.
Yeah. We don't normally take or play games where it's socially acceptable to like take prisoners. Like we do the conquest game where like if you get nabbed up, you can get put in jail.
Yeah, yeah.
But not like ambushing a bunch of dudes and instead of shooting them, like taking them hostage.
Yeah.
So that happened
When?
like October-ish.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 dudes jumped a group of like 2 players, 2 or 3, and took them prisoner. And this was during Full Field Conquest.
Nice.
And took them down to African and put them in a hut. And then started negotiating out with the rest of their team because they weren't dead, but the players also willingly gave over their guns.
Sure.
And I was like, oh God, what is going on here? And like another ref asked me like, hey, what are we going to do about this? I'm like, keep an eye on it.
Let the boy watch.
But let's let it play out. And then the dudes that took those players hostage pulled out a poker set and started playing poker with them. And if they won, they would let them leave.
What if they lost?
If they lost, they had to stay.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's pretty funny. Like, this is pretty funny.
Yeah, for open play, dude, it's not hurting
Yeah.
anybody else. He's
It was
not.
a day we only had like 40 players.
Yeah,
It
he's
was just
not-
like, how did you actually get them?
Make them play Russian roulette.
Oh God.
No, well,
With a semi-auto Glock. But that's why it's like, that was from the outside looking in, kind of normie.
oh, for sure.
But it was also hilarious.
yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it was very funny to watch. So I don't know if I condone actions like that, but it was entertaining to see it.
Sure, I like it. It's agency, and I
Yeah.
like it. There's a time and place for it, and you know, if there's nothing going on, it's not affecting the outcome of the game. It's not affecting your team negatively
No
or
one
the
was
other team.
complaining.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If all parties are in agreement and go along with it, then sure, man, have your fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I saw that from the outside, if I saw that happening and I was in the tree line, and they didn't know it, and my 2 guys were the prisoners, and yeah, they were playing along. Now it becomes a cool little side quest for me to go break my boys out.
I would have just shot them all.
Well, for sure. Yeah, but
No, I'm saying the friendlies too.
no, I wouldn't have shot the friendlies. I got to go rescue them. You know?
One EG.
Yeah, we do that a lot. We do side quests a lot.
Yeah,
We
man.
do.
If we're on the radio, if it's just like, one of the guys is pinned down at embassy and we're like on the opposite side of the field, we're like, all right, new mission. We have to we got to rescue him.
I do this shit all the time.
We get halfway there. He's dead. He's like,
No.
we see him walking back to respawn on our way there. We're just like, crap. New mission. Play the objective.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice when the rules give you more things to do with, enemy combatants than just like shooting them. Like if it's prisoner or if there's some rules of engagement, I think it's kind of neat. It's hard to implement on a large scale unless you're doing like what Eric's doing with Gun Gamers.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
like a full out LARP event. Trying to put that into an open play is hard.
No. I mean, yes, it is hard. I mean, and that's not what open play's for.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Open play is jumping on the couch.
Because I've
Yeah.
played an event, air quotes event, with an air quote ROE, and that JTAC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
That was not ROE. That was you guys paid to play Airsoft, and I want this team to sit here and that team to sit there, and I don't want any of you guys shooting at each other at all.
Yeah. Green team's not allowed to shoot at tan unless tan shoots at them.
Yeah.
And tan team's not allowed to shoot at green unless green team shoots at
so
them.
what if nobody shot at each other?
There was NPCs. The NPCs caused the violence.
One door
That's the
said,
only
"Do
time
not."
I got asked to
There's
step
two
off of the
doors.
field.
There's 2 doors. One says, "Do not enter," and the other one says, "Use the other door."
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that one was.
I remember him yelling at players, like, "What are you doing? Put that gun down. Get back in the mosque fence!" Like he's fencing them.
Yeah, that's the only time
You know
I've
what's
ever
so
been told
ironic?
I need to get off the field here.
You know what's so ironic is that the night before that complete dumpster fire of an event, I was doing a meeting for the OPFOR, for the
was
role
there.
players
Yeah.
for the deployment,
Yes.
which probably was what he was trying to accomplish, but he was too busy drinking and then coming over and interrupting my meeting to talk about some stupid prop. And my blood was boiling, and I don't know how I kept my composure together. I was just like seething on the inside, like, who are you? Why are you interrupting my meeting right now? Why are you drunk as shit the night before you're supposed to run an event? You know, I had a lot of questions.
He was like a South Park character of himself.
Yes.
He was he is if South Park made a character of him,
It would just be him.
That was just him, you know?
Such an interesting individual.
Like imagine if Kanye West in real life was South Park Kanye West. To the T. Like to the T.
You like fish sticks?
Yeah.
You know what's sad too is that you know, the company that he represented, or the organization, actually did a lot of really good events out west, and they were trying to expand eastward. And so when he approached us, Mario and I, about doing an event, and I did my preliminary Google search, you know, is this even a thing? It was actually a deep rabbit hole, and a lot of people were like, yeah, these are great games, you know.
That was not a great game.
It was not a great game.
No.
That's, in my opinion, one of the worst.
Yes.
Because Zulu staff, who weren't even supposed to be staffing the game, took over
I was one of the staff for that.
Gave out armbands,
Me
and then
Little
started
Dave,
playing a full field conquest. Like, it was that bad.
Me and Little Dave, yeah, we came up with some game, and I came up with some like weird rule for it, and the game worked that day because of how starving everybody was just to actually play.
Dude, I was
and they
fucking
actually
pissed.
And then
Yeah.
I named the game Sodium Chloride. Remember that?
Yeah,
And then
salt, yeah.
it never really worked for open play, but for this event, like just coming up with some game and letting them like
They just needed
play.
direction. They needed direction.
It was like finding somebody, a group of people stranded in the desert, just like about to die of dehydration.
I've got water, but it's just piss.
Yeah, and we're just pouring water on them.
Yeah.
That like that to get all the players there that upset.
It's amazing.
People wanted refunds.
Oh, sure. And I would have.
Yeah.
He handled ticketing, so I couldn't do it from the register, but I would have gladly given everybody a refund. I mean, I wanted a fucking refund. He wouldn't even, because he basically rented the field, and it was based on head count and all this stuff. So at the end of the event is when, like, after everybody goes home is usually when the business stuff happens, right? And he sent like one of his cronies over, and he's like, yeah, you know this. I was like, no. You get that guy over here now. Like,
Yeah.
like I understand that you just work for him, but I need to fucking talk to him. And I took him around the back. I was just like, what the fuck was that, dude? I was like, you talked all this shit. I was like, you interrupted my fucking meeting last night. Like, where the fuck do you get off? And he was like, yeah, well, you know, we were only supposed to do, I forget it was like a skirmish. There was like different tiers, right? And the highest tier was like 100 players, but we had only talked about doing the medium tier, which was like 50, something crazy, right? And I was like, brother, I told you from day one, plan for 100 players. Plan for 100 players. And sure as shit, he got 100 players. And
Yeah, that was another thing with that event. Like people were walking on, they didn't even know there was an event. They didn't know what the rules were. And
it was
If I could
incredibly, terribly put together.
If I could find my helmet camera footage from that game, I think I know where it is. We were on green team. But if I was wearing full green, players that showed up got moved to tan. So I had to wear a brown t-shirt and woodland pants to be on green team. I hit a room. There's a dude wearing full multicam, a dude wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and a dude wearing full woodland. And I shoot the first two. And I just look at the dude in woodland. I'm like, what fucking team are you on? And he's like, I'm on tan. Whack. Like, it was the
Makes
dumbest
sense.
thing. Like, they had NPCs. Like, Luke and I came around a corner, and this dude just, it was in between the old school and that brown building there. Mm-hmm. He comes around the corner, and we're like posted up on the alleyway, and he just starts screaming at us that he's part of the police force. And I was like, okay. He raises his gun, so we fucking shoot him. And he's like, you can't shoot NPCs. I'm like, what is this bullshit? What is this?
Yeah, like, what's happening here?
Like, we're playing Airsoft. You have a gun, you pointed it at me, I shot you.
For sure. And that's a natural reaction. I don't know why he was surprised about that reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was just,
The game was so bad.
It was bad. It was bad. And he tried to justify all this stuff. I was like, no, brother, you didn't put in the work.
Yeah.
You didn't put in the planning. You didn't put in the execution. You've obviously never run a game before, even though I did the research into the company, and the company had done many games, and it's very clear you have never run a single one. It's bad. Oh, it's bad. I felt so bad, dude. People were. I think Adrian came up and he was saying some stuff. I was like, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying right now. And if I could give you a refund, I would.
This was almost 10 years ago, and we're still salty.
Oh, dude, it is by far the worst.
Sodium chloride.
Yeah.
It's bad when our staff has to take over your event because you just are incapable of running it.
Yeah, that was.
And all these people paid. I don't remember what the ticket price was, but it was definitely more than open play.
I think it was like $75.
Sure, right? So now you're taking away a $75 experience, and now our staff has to take over just to give them an experience, just some cohesive experience that they could have otherwise just paid $30 for, or whatever the price was back then.
I'm now remembering on my personal YouTube channel, the video we made from that day is titled "Proper Planning Prevents a Piss Poor Performance."
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, that's
Forgot about that.
That's fucking true, dude. I was livid. I was fucking livid. Mario wouldn't even talk to the guy.
I don't blame him.
So basically, anybody that wants to run a game can just contact you, and they can.
No.
You'll let anybody run a game here?
No, fuck no.
Really? Even if they pay a bunch of money?
I have a feeling after the renovations that we've done, a lot of people are going to be asking to run a game.
Sure, but I mean, I've got a list in my head of people that I would allow, and we're just kind of, yeah, of course. We're kind of beyond the point of just letting people try new things. You know what I mean?
If somebody runs a really bad game and they kind of fuck over the players, like when AMS comes, a bunch of out-of-state people come.
For sure.
And that's like awesome.
Dude,
but
last time AMS came, dudes flew in from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
But like if there's some smaller event company doing something here, it's pretty much still just Zulu patrons that are showing up.
Yeah.
Like instead of paying what they pay for open play on the weekend, they're paying what they're paying for this event at the same field that weekend. So when people come and do like a really bad game, it like fucks up our guys.
It absolutely. So
it just fucks with our guys,
Yeah.
like the people that come and support all of us. Like
it's
not fair to them.
It used to worry me about shitty games, right? That at the end of the day, when you go home, you're not going to say, "Oh, I had, this producer sucks and I had a bad time." You're going to go home and say, "I had a bad time at Zulu." That's what's going to resonate with you. But in recent years, there have been games that were like, not as bad as that, but
I'm thinking of one that
not S tier, and people are they're very quick to say, "Oh, that producer, no, Zulu's fine." They're very clear to make the distinction now, which I think is fine. That doesn't mean that I'm more open and willing to let just anybody run an event. Like, I need to know that if you haven't run 10 events, like, I'm not even going to consider you, like.
Well, that kind of reminds me, and you could tell me if we have to cut this. It was like right after I took over running the Instagram and Facebook account, that like nasty comment we got about, I saw a video from your facility. I can't believe you guys would handle an interaction with a player like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And it was, this person was giving, it was a DM. They were giving us shit saying that there was a video online of our staff yelling at a customer and telling them that they were wrong and they need to go home. And I'm like, can you find me that video? Like, I want to see that because if it was, we need to address it. And we're open about shit like that happening. If something happens, we'll address it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can't find it. The guy was wearing a red shirt. And I just kind of stopped and went, well, hold on.
Yeah.
At the time, we never used red shirts for refs.
No, we had blue.
We used blue. We used yellow. We never used red yet. We only recently, like last year, switched to red for the first time.
Yeah.
And this was in like 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, what are you talking about? So I went and found the video and I sent it to him. I was like, was this the video you were talking about? And they go, yes. And I go, okay, well, I hate to inform you. This was an event run by a different producer. And that was the staff of that producer.
Yeah.
This is not Zulu 24 staff. So I'm sorry that you're upset about this, but you can take this up with that company.
Yeah.
That's how that company handles interactions with customers, not how Zulu handles it. And that was like, this looks bad on us now. Like,
oh, sure. Yeah.
Because that video was titled Zulu 24 Flip Out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the stupidest video too.
Yeah.
Jesus. Everybody was wrong. It's one of those everybody's wrong videos.
Absolutely everyone.
Yeah. And then the staff, not our staff, but the event staff also handled it wrong. That was another event where in my head I was like, that's the last time.
That was the event where we got yelled at.
Yeah, I was like, the way that basically the owner of
That company
handled the situation with a walk-on. You know, before anybody comes to the field, I'm always like, hey, do you want to allow walk-ons or not? Most producers are like, no, because walk-ons are a variable that, you know, it fucks with your game, right? Because obviously a walk-on's not going to read the rules because they don't know.
The only one where it kind of like actually works out most of the time is Tactical League.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's easier to digest.
Yeah, their game's not so complex.
That, and most people play video games, and a lot of his stuff is based on video game stuff. But so the way he handled this walk-on, he like brought him off the field, and he's literally yelling at him, and he's like, "Dave, you'll never believe this guy," you know. And I'm looking at the kid. He's like 16, 17 years old. He's wearing like a white shirt and basketball shorts, like.
Probably
he has never. Yes, he did have a rental. He has never played airsoft before. It's very clear, hyper clear, and he's yelling at him about some, you know, like the nuance of airsoft. You're like, come on, man, it's like blatantly clear.
Yeah, like this is
that
his
he's
first
a walk-on.
Day. Yeah,
and you're allowing walk-ons, so you know, take that for what it is. I mean, you're literally renting the field from me. I'm just here to like sell a couple BBs and shit. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's it. Like these guys are done.
Yeah, not a great time.
That was a weird rabbit hole we just went down.
Yeah, it was.
We got off the topic. Concealed carrying, normie.
Concealed carrying airsoft guns? Normie.
I think it's normie.
Being a shitty event producer? Normie.
Oh, there's too many.
Should we bully Grimnir? Yes.
Yes, please come back. Please.
Bully Grimnir.
Please.
I don't know my verdict on the
concealed
carry.
If it's for the memes, have at it. Have fun.
Well, you said for training.
No, I simply just said if you're carrying concealed, whether you're doing it for training or not.
I think it would be fun to try. Fun to try?
We're going to try it.
Yeah, except you have to carry on your ankle.
Oh, God.
It's normie.
You have an ankle holster? I don't.
Velcro, brother.
It's normie on some occasions.
Just a full roll of one wrap.
Duct tape.
Oh, God.
It's normie on some occasions. Like
Dave just waxed his leg.
like running up on the field, nerfing yourself like that is like fun, you know? Like if you just run up with a bolt action.
Yes, but you know that you're nerfing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
If you're doing it like, if you're doing it for the training aspect,
Train like you play like you train.
yeah. What are you training for? Yeah, like that's if you're training for that one-off scenario where you're going to get captured by the enemy, or you're playing a scenario based around a gas station, you know, like I don't get.
all I've learned from this is that the LARP event's going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I still don't know what I'm going to be yet.
Doing a coffee shop.
I feel like if I do the USPSA matches, it's going to be a ton of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the point.
I won't have a lot of side quests.
I'm going to play a homeless man.
I'm going to be a traveling
Oh,
musician.
you can come live outside my coffee shop.
I'm gonna
hang out
have
by the fire pit.
I'm going to have a cup and just beg for change. And if I catch a straggler out somewhere, I'm going to murder them and then run their pockets and then come back out. Like,
I'm going to be a
We
traveling
got to find
musician.
BBs first.
I'm going to do that.
that's what rocks are for. I'm going to start throwing rocks.
God.
Come here.
Come here.
Oh, too bad there's no melee. I could just like, do you have any change?
Oh, they're silly string.
Beat him over the head
That's
with
just
a
that's pepper spray.
You just beat him over the head with a cold steel tomahawk.
Oh, God. Oh, that'd be cool to do that and then stage the tomahawk. So then when like the police show up, they're like, he was. You
just pour ketchup all over it.
And now you're a serial killer. You're the hatchet killer or something.
Oh, that would
that'd
be
cool.
crazy.
But there's no melee, so it'd be cool to like leave. Oh, you could be.
Yeah, but if you're a homeless person in this game, you're actually far more likely to be killed by a serial killer. Be like, do you have anybody that will miss you if you're gone?
Which is why I make the perfect serial killer.
Yeah, no one will suspect the homeless guy.
What you could do is play the game enough to buy BBs. Then once you have, I mean, you only need like 10, right? Once you have BBs,
Yeah, I mean, if you're executing them.
right? Once you have BBs, you befriend somebody and then you shove it in their gut, pull the trigger, and then you like leave a playing card on them or something, like some type of like serial killerish
The sad part is we just put this all out on the air, which means that if this happens in game, anyone who's watched this knows it's you.
Except I'm not going to do it because it's a double bluff. And somebody else is going to do it. So they're going to think it's me, but the real serial killer is going to get away with it.
Yeah,
See?
so
This is how it is.
the ad hoc police system detective is going to be looking at you when he's not
Yeah.
looking at the right guy.
Or maybe not.
Dave's actually going to be a super wealthy trust fund kid who
Dave's actually
pretends
a
to be
super-
homeless so that he can see people's true colors and who he can really trust.
Yeah.
Because everybody just wants him for his money.
That's it.
Dave's actually a supervillain.
Oh, man. I'm like building a nuke in my basement. And
Just
shit.
be anti-Dave. Brother, do me a favor. Put that mag back in that gun staging.
Take your iPro off.
Oh, God.
Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's about time to wrap this.
Yes, it is.
Land this plane. And with that, good night. God bless. We're out.
Bully Grimner.
Bully Grimner.